Is this thing on? Okay, good. What it is, what's up, what's up, YouTube family? It's your boy Marvin Francois, and in today's video, we're going to be talking about the best car, the absolute best. I mean, the very best, the best of the bestest car for you to rent on TURO as a host in the year 2022. We are going to be giving so much value, so many jewels, and so much gems in this video, but time is money and I'm not trying to waste any of yours, so without further ado, let's just get right into it. So for those of you who aren't familiar, TURO is basically the Airbnb of cars. It's a platform that allows you to rent cars during your travels and also allows you to be a host of your own, where you can take a vehicle that you own, host it on the platform, and make money from it as well. Whether you're looking to rent out your car on the side just to make a couple extra $100 here and there from month to month, or you're an entrepreneur that's looking to rent out an entire fleet of vehicles to make 6 to 7 figures a year, TURO is actually one of the most popular and best platforms for you to do so. Now, before we can do a deep dive into what exactly is the best car for you as a host to rent on TURO in the year 2022, we must first break down the different types of cars that there are, starting out with the first type, and my personal favorite, the exotic cars. Now, cars that fall under the type of exotic are typically cars like Lamborghinis, Ferraris, and McLarens, right? And the list goes on and on and on. And when it comes to vehicles like these, I nickname these vehicles the common homes. Yeah. The common homes. I call these the common homes. Yep. Huh? What? Why I call them the common homes? Oh, okay, it's very simple. Because if I pull up in one of these, then she's coming home with me. You understand me? You feel me? That's why I call them that. You feel me? These vehicles, exotic vehicles that is, are basically the cream of the crop of all the different vehicle types. These are the vehicles that you usually see in like music videos, at car shows, my garage, you know, places like that. Then the next tier right below that are luxury cars. Now there are higher tiered luxury cars, things like Rolls Royces and Bentleys. And then you have some of the lower tiered luxury cars, typically cars in that like 80,000, 50, 60, 80, 100,000 range, right? Cars like the BMWs, the Mercedes, and the Audis of the world. Now the next type of car, which is a tier below that, are actually sports cars. And for those of you who don't know, sports cars are like Challengers, or like cars like the Hellcat SRT and things like that, right? And if you're not very familiar, you know which car I'm talking about. I'm talking about the car. You ever be asleep 3 o'clock in the morning, you get waken up by a dude that's over here drifting and dragging his vehicle through the street at that time of night after a long day of you grinding, working your butt off. You want to get a night's rest, but you can't because some jerk who apparently had aspirations at one point in time in his life of being a NASCAR driver who didn't make it, decided instead that he was going to drift and drag his vehicle through the street at 3 o'clock in the morning and rev up his engine louder than a radio at a Dominican barbecue. I'm talking about those kind of cars. You know which cars? Oh, you understand? Okay, you know. All right, yeah. Sports cars. Those are sports cars. And then finally, you have what are called the economy cars. Now, the economy cars are the everyday average Joe cars that you probably see on a daily basis. I'm talking about the Toyotas, the Hondas, the Hyundais, the Nissans, right? The Acuras, and I can go on and on and on. Now, outside of the 4 main vehicle types that I just named, there are other types of vehicles out there, right? You have like the 4x4s like the Jeeps, and then you have specialty vehicles like the T-Rexes, and then you have classic vehicles like the 1980 this and the 1970 that type vehicles. But for the sake of time, in this video, we're only going to focus on the 4 main types that I just named. And with the 4 main vehicle types that I just named, we harken back to the original question at hand. Of these different types of vehicles that I've named, which is the absolute best? Which car type is going to bring you the most money, get you the best results in 2022? Hey, Alex, drum roll please. The best car type for you to get in 2022 is, yes, you guessed it, economy vehicles. Now, I know you may be thinking to yourself, okay, well, Marv, why are the economy vehicles the best vehicle types for me to get to put on TURO in the year 2022? Well, reason number one is because they are the easiest cars for you to get your hands on. Cars like luxury and exotic vehicle types have a much more higher barrier to entry due to the fact of A, how expensive these vehicles can be, right? You're coming way more out of pocket to get a Rolls Royce than you are to get a Nissan Altima. So that's for one part of it. Then the other part of it is that in some cases with some of these vehicles, there is certain red tape that's put in place that makes it even more difficult for you to get your hands on some of these cars. Like in the case of luxury vehicles, this is a fun fact for you. Did you know that when it comes to Mercedes-Benz, Mercedes will not let you finance or lease one of their vehicles if you don't already have some form of previous auto loan history, meaning that Mercedes don't care what you bout. I mean, unless you're buying a car outright, they are not going to let you finance or lease a vehicle unless you've owned some type of vehicle beforehand. They're not going to let you use their car as your very first car if that's what your situation is. So that's one example that we could use. Whereas with economy cars, they are much more easier for you to get your hands on. You can get an economy car at a car dealership. You can get one at a used car lot. You could even find quality, and I mean quality, and I've done my research on this, quality economy vehicles on Facebook Marketplace. That's right, you heard me correctly. You could even find them on Facebook Marketplace. You're not finna buy no Bentley, Bentayga, Rolls Royce, Hellcat SRT off Facebook Marketplace. It's just not gonna happen. 2013 Honda Civic, oh yeah, they got you. Oh yeah, they got you. The second reason why the economy car is the best car for Turo is because, quite frankly, it's less maintenance. Having a BMW i8 or Mercedes-Benz or a McLaren or any of those high flashy cars to put on Turo sounds cool, but you have to remember and ask yourself, are you prepared to deal with the maintenance that comes with these cars? Now, don't get me wrong, any and every vehicle that you get will require some form of maintenance, right? All cars do require tire rotations, oil changes, inspections, registrations, the list goes on and on. However, getting a tire changed on a Honda Civic is a lot different than getting a tire changed on a McLaren. You understand? Two completely different price points. The more expensive the vehicle is, the more expensive the maintenance will be. And I don't know about you, but I'm not trying to get a Rolls Royce and mess around and pay economy car prices just to get an oil change on a Rolls Royce. Like, it's just not, the math is not mathing. It's not worth it in my personal opinion. It's just not. But the third and probably the most important reason why economy cars are the best cars for you to rent as a host on Turo in the year 2022 is, quite frankly, they're just much more easier for you to rent out. You have to remember that most people who are looking for cars on Turo are people that are looking to travel for personal and or business reasons. And the average person, more often than not, is not looking to rent a Hellcat SRT or a Maserati for their 3-day stay in Los Angeles or Atlanta or New York or wherever it is that you're renting your car out from. Chances are they're just not. The average person is probably already getting ready to spend so much money on their trip, from the hotel to the overall experience to food and all these other miscellaneous expenses, that if there's anything, and I mean anything, that they would look to cut these costs on, it's most likely going to be the car. And the best way for them to do that is to get an average car that's good enough but not bad enough. It's right there in between. It's just right. And 9.9 times out of 10, that's going to be an economy vehicle. But that concludes it all for this video. I sincerely do hope you received a lot of jewels, a lot of gems, and just straight up value from any and everything that I touched on in this video. And if you have, please do not forget to take a second, take a minute, take an hour out of your day right here, right now, to just go ahead and slap that like button and show this video some love. I'm Marvin Francois. Y'all have been good. I've been great. This has been amazing. And as always, thank you and God bless. Peace.